What is up, you guys? This is All Danny Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you a build breakdown video or an updated build breakdown video for Kitty Pryde. So, there's not really too much that's changed with Kitty Pryde, just a couple stuff. So for her traits, her two main attributes are fighting and intelligence. She also gains 15% crit hit damage automatically. Intangible is, she automatically gains 280 health on hit. Defense, deflect and dodge are her two main defensive stats. Melee combatant, she gains melee combatant damage reduction by 8%. And then Lockheed's energy, your faithful companion. Lockheed energy is your primary resource. Your faithful companion and pet Lockheed will remain at your side at all times, spewing fireballs at enemies and obeying your commands. Lockheed's Fire Spit damage does 1451, 2170 to 2176 damage. So with Kitty Pryde, we're not going to be focusing at all. We're not putting anything into Lockheed. So this is just a straight phase build. The only ability you're not going to be using is martial arts combo, so you're going to be using everything else. Walking through walls, that's the dash ability. I put that on L2 circle. Watch your step, that's on triangle. Heartbreaker, L2 triangle. Phasing samurai, that's on circle. Logan style, that's on square. Just a phase, that's on my L2 square. Quicksand is on X, and phased out is my signature, which is on L2X. So with walking through, I'll go through the talents first and then explain the abilities. So Unseen Warrior, just a phase Unseen Warrior is the one you want to go for, because the other two don't really benefit you in any way. Unseen Warrior, just a phase duration increased by 8 seconds, but you are no longer it no longer provides invulnerability. You gain stealth and regenerate 560 health per second while out of combat. So after you kill some enemies or whatever, you go straight into stealth, and then, which is really nice, and then you just gain health. The next talent, Phased Insights. This is a definite talent you want to go for. Activating Watch Your Step or Phasing Samurai increases your crit damage by 40% for 5 seconds, and this effect can stack up to 2 times, which means you can use both of those abilities and deal 80% more crit damage for the 5 seconds. Brutal Combat is the next one you want to go for. Heartbreaker deals 1% more damage per 1% of the target's missing health, so that becomes a execute ability. And then Logan Style always critically hits. Next one is going to be Phase Rush. The reason why I chose Phase Rush and not Sword Wielder is because Sword Wielder, it gives you a nice crit chance buff, and the sword power damage is really nice too, but Quicksand transforming into Shadowcat's Pirouette makes it super weak. I don't like it at all. Quicksand does nice damage over time in a way. It's a nice channeling ability, and it does amazing damage too. So I went with Phase Rush, which Phase Rush is a really nice talent too. Walking through walls gains the following effects: damage 3626 twice per second, so your enemies start taking damage over time, and you also gain 1 extra max charge. Also with Phase Rush, walking through walls, it also cancels your enemies' abilities. So if you're fighting Mandarin or Red Skull or whatever, if you're doing trials with this build, or if you're just fighting any boss in general and they're about to use some type of ability, if you use walking through walls, it'll cancel it. Just like using one of the abilities, I forgot what the ability is called, but I think it's Watch Your Step. Yeah, so Watch Your Step will take your enemies underground. That ability is really nice. Continuous Assault, phased out, lasts longer, increasing the number of hits to 6. So it goes from 3 to 6 hits, which is really nice. Heavy Impact is okay, but the only downside of that is it gives you an 8-second cooldown, which will make your damage just so much worse. The AoE increase and the damage increase is nice, but it's just that cooldown is so bad. So,
how rude!
For your synergies, the synergies I'm using Beast, Black Panther, Black Widow, Blade, Daredevil, Hawkeye, Psylocke, Scarlet Witch, Squirrel Girl, and War Machine. So the reason why I'm not using Kitty Pryde synergy is because I'm not focused on her defensive stuff, so I don't really care too much about her dodge or deflect rating. I try to max out I did max out my melee synergies. That's the only reason why I picked Psylocke as well. I don't care for the psychic, but she has the highest melee power synergy. So my melee power damage is up to 10.5%, and then the rest I just went with intelligence and fighting from Beast and War Machine because those are her two main attributes. So for her infinity points, I put all my points into intelligence and then the rest into mental focus. So if anything, I would highly suggest putting all your points into intelligence, but if you don't want to, then that's fine. And if you don't have 25 points, then I'd suggest putting points into mental focus, the health on hit, inner resilience, micro warps or gravity well, or the temporal loophole for attack speed and movement speed. Now for her gear and whatnot, I'm not like super fully optimized in the way I'd want to be, but yeah, I'm using Maxwell Jordan's Lost Ring Stone because right now this is the ring that benefits her the most versus my other rings that I have. But if I can get a ring that has like if I can get a DPS ring, which gives you that 1100 crit damage, and then the +3 to intelligence and +3 to fighting, then I'd be using that one instead. For her artifacts, I'm using Gem of Cursed, Tanya's Love Letter, and Cargo's Rewrites. So these two, I know you can only get Cargo's Rewrites from the supply box. I don't know where else you can get Tanya's Love Letter, but I'm gonna guess you can only get it from the supply box because that's where I've only gotten it from. And then the Gem of Curse, you can get this from Odin's Palace. And then for her relic, I went with Relic of Asgard because she's all melee damage, and yeah, so nothing else really can benefit you as much. Maybe Relic of Subterranea to add more defense ratings to take less damage, but other than that, I'd really just stick with the Relic of Asgard. My catalyst, it says 150 health when you defeat an enemy, 418 health when you hit an enemy, regenerate 25% health up to 3000 and 100 Lockheed energy when you use a medkit, +3 fighting, gain a damage shield equal to 50% of your max health when you use your medkit. When you use your signature power, gain 1000 defense rating for 5 seconds. So it's not bad at all bad of a catalyst. I'm using Craven Medallion. When you hit with a melee power, gain 210 damage for melee powers, or 2 melee powers for 10 seconds, and it's a 0.5 second cooldown. So you're technically gonna have this up pretty much all the time. And then for my legendary item, I went with Savage Acts of Ares. The reason why is because all of the traits from the Savage Acts of Ares benefits her. You can get 750 damage rating to melee powers, 1500 crit hit to movement powers, 2500 brutal damage rating, 1500 brutal strike rating, and then the rank 5 one, 8% chance when you hit to leave the enemy mortally wounded, dealing 8000 bleed damage twice per second for 5 seconds, 8-second cooldown. So you can pretty much keep your bleed up because she has nice damage over time abilities, especially with Quicksand. Other one that's not bad is the Nern Stone or whatever, because it's channeled. It's a channeling legendary item, but the only channeling ability she has is Quicksand, but that's one of your main abilities to use. So, but I would stick with Savage Acts of Ares. So for her stats, my defensive stats, I have 30,822 health, 33% damage reduction, crit hit is up to 4525, 6092 crit damage, 2104 brutal strike rating, 3193 brutal damage rating, and 132% base damage. So her crit hit rating is really good. and that she would also get that extra 1500 towards her movement. So you're looking at 6,000 crit hit rating for her movement abilities. So that's really good. Yeah, that's all for her abilities and whatnot. So just to show you what they all look like. So as you can see, Lockheed will attack randomly. Doesn't hit too hard. For Quicksand, this is what Quicksand looks like. It does nice AoE damage, and it also slows your enemies, making the movement speed and attack speed slow. And you can just keep this up as long as you'd like. It doesn't matter. There's no resource for it. Next one is my square button. It's called Logan Style. It does an auto crit and a damage over time. And then you have Watch Your Step, which when you go down, it brings your enemies down with you, and then it does nice damage. And then you got I completely forgot what that ability is called, but it's my circle. You go underground and you pop back out, and it does a nice burst damage. Then you have the heart something with the heart ability. It's my L2's triangle. It's one of your execute abilities. And then phase through or just phase, whatever. My L2's square. You just get health regen, and that's it. It sucks that it takes the invulnerability away. It would have been nice if you could still keep that, but it's fine. And then you have just the phase or just phase through or something. When you do that, it does damage over time to the ability, to your enemies. And then you have your signature. So that's basically it for my Kitty Pryde. Oh, and when you're out of combat, you also go invisible, which is really awesome. So yeah, that's basically it for my Kitty Pryde build update. If you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and leave that down in the comment section. If you liked this video, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe. If this helped you at all, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, this is all Day 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.